So for this meditation today, if you're able to come into a standing position, as I mentioned before, if you are going to find it too difficult due to pain or balance issues or whatever, you could certainly do it from from sitting. If you're able to stand, we'll start that way. I'll ring the bell to officially start us. So a good way to start is just to stand, but stand mindfully. Or if you're sitting, then you're sitting mindfully. In other words, being in this position, but with awareness, paying attention to the details, noticing details that we normally wouldn't pay attention to. We can be standing or sitting or even walking, potentially paying almost no attention, just thinking about other things. Our mind is somewhere else. And because maybe we don't need to pay attention, we know how to stand or sit or walk. But for the purpose of expanding the ability to be mindful when we choose to, using this moment now as an opportunity to really be mindful of your body, to really feel it. So if you're standing, you might feel pressure on the bottom of your feet. Notice where you feel that the most. There might be specific spots on the bottom of your feet where you feel more pressure. Notice any sensations in your legs that are holding you up. You might notice some muscles in your legs that have tightened a little bit to support you. You can also feel your arms and hands. But your arms you can just allow to be loose. We're not moving them or using them right now. So you can actually concentrate on letting all the muscles of your arms and hands be just completely loose and feel what that's like. Just feeling your arms. And also be aware of your torso. In other words, your back and your belly, your chest. Noticing your posture, position you're in, position of your back. And notice any sensation of breathing that you might feel, the movement of your belly or your chest as you breathe in and out. So there's a lot going on even when we're just sitting or standing still. You can also feel your neck supporting your head and feel your entire head and face. Maybe especially notice if there's any tension in the face. Sometimes without realizing it, we can end up tightening the muscles around the jaw or mouth or around the eyes or forehead. So just being aware of your breath, your whole body in this position, and maintain this awareness whenever we move or hold a stretching position. So for example, now just raising the arms up. If you're able to, just keeping the elbows essentially straight and lifting them up to your sides and continuing, if you're able to bring them right overhead, reaching upward with your hands. Just noticing how that feels, the various sensations, whether in your shoulders or up through your arms or even into your hands. You might even feel some specific sensations in your fingers. Just notice what it's like. If thoughts come up, then just notice those as thoughts. Your mind may start commenting. But if you notice a lot of thoughts coming up, just be aware of them and then leave them alone and just come back to the focus being on your body without judging or analyzing it, just feeling it. And then if you haven't done so already, now just putting your arms back down, feeling what that's like to move them, Feeling the sensations as they move and when they let go. And notice how your arms and hands feel now. Might be all kinds of different sensations compared to when we started. Just experiencing your whole body as it is right now, including the sensations of breathing. And then from here, and now just raising the right arm up, reaching up the fingers of your right hand, almost as if you're trying to touch the ceiling. If you want, you can let your left heel come off the ground a little bit. So you kind of lean into the stretch a bit more. Just experiencing your body in this position. Just where you feel stretching or other sensations. And then bring the arm back down. Again, feeling it move, feeling it letting go. Notice how your right arm is feeling now. Maybe notice any differences compared to the left arm. And then raising the other arm up. Reaching, stretching. So just doing the same stretch on this side. You'll notice certain muscles have to tighten to hold your arm up like this. See if you can let the rest of your body be as relaxed as possible. So you only tighten the muscles you need to tighten. Maybe notice how your breath feels in this position. And then bring this arm back down. Feel sensations, letting go at the end. Simply experiencing your body as it is right now, including the sensations of breathing. And then from here, raising both arms up one more time. This time, once your hands are straight up, taking a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, just lean to one side. So let your body kind of curve to the side. And just notice how that feels. You might particularly feel stretching in the side of your torso or maybe in the shoulder area. Just notice the various sensations. Adjusting if you need to. Breathing naturally, relaxing into it. And then breathing in, coming straight up. And then as you breathe out, leaning to the other side. Notice how that feels. Just relaxing into it. Excuse me. And you're really feeling the various sensations. Breathing in, coming up. And breathing out, bring the arms back down. Letting them relax. Notice what that's like. Feeling your whole body in this position. Maybe noticing changes compared to when we started. You might feel a bit warmer or your heart beating a little faster. And then from here, we'll just do some gentle shoulder stretches. So first, just bring the shoulders up. Bring them up towards your ears. Notice how that feels. Certain muscles tighten to do this. And then bring the shoulders back down, feeling them relax. And then moving your shoulders towards each other in front. They'll just move a little bit, but notice if you feel the stretching across your upper back when you do this. The shoulder blades kind of move away from each other. And bring the shoulders back down. And then bring your shoulder blades back towards each other, kind of pulling the shoulders back. You might feel some stretching across the chest. And then bring the shoulders back up again. And now just rotating. Just taking your time, just in one big circle the whole way around, feeling it the whole way around. If you want, you could reverse the circle. Just circle it the other way. And then letting the shoulders relax again. Letting your arms hang loosely. Again, be with your body, feel it as it is right now. And then we'll just do some gentle stretches of the neck. First, just bring the chin down in front. So you're letting your head hang. Just to get a bit of a stretch of the back of the neck. And go easy on the neck stretches, especially if you have any injuries or neck problems. Just notice how that feels, where you feel the stretching. And then bring the head back up to the center. And then tilting your head to the side, bringing whichever side you want to do first, bring your ear kind of towards the shoulder. Even if it's just a little bit, just until you get a gentle stretch at the side of the neck. Just don't force it in any way. And then tilting your head to the other side, feeling what that's like. Feeling the stretching. And then bring the chin down in front again. And then just continuing through these three positions. Just really slowly, gently. So the head kind of circles around a little. If you want to change directions, you could do that. Or you can stop at any point if you need to. Coming back to your head being in the center. So again, checking in with your body, what you're experiencing in it right now. And then from here, we'll move to a sitting position. And if you're standing and you move to sitting, see if you can do that mindfully. So in other words, with awareness. Just notice the various movements, how it feels when you let yourself down into a chair or into whatever you're sitting on. And once you're sitting reasonably comfortably, perhaps just closing your eyes, just letting yourself settle into whatever position feels good for you. And for the sitting portion of the meditation, you might just keep your eyes closed. Or if you prefer, you could look downward, the eyes half closed, kind of gaze to a neutral spot. And just notice that you're still breathing. Just feel your breath moving in and out. The breath is kind of like a target for our attention. We often focus on it, partly just because it's handy. It's It's always there because we're always breathing. We could choose to focus on anything that's just happens to be here now in the present. For now, let's keep the focus just on the breath, paying attention closely to the details, feeling in your body the sensations of breathing in and of breathing out. Just letting the breath happen in its natural rhythm. When we're working on being mindful of the breath, at least in this type of meditation, we don't have to breathe in any special way. We're trying to just let it happen without controlling it. Just let the breath move in and out as it naturally does. But the difference between now and how it is most of the time is that now we're trying to purposely pay close attention and notice the details of the sensations of breathing in and breathing out. Each breath, see if you can sort of stay with it through the whole cycle, feeling it the whole duration, from the start of inhaling to the end of the inhalation, and from start right to the end of the exhalation. Whole cycle. While you're trying to stay with your breath or with any area that we focus on, if you find your mind wandering, your attention drifts away, maybe you get lost in thoughts, of course, that'll happen. It's quite normal. All you need to do when you notice that your mind has gone somewhere else is just gently bring it back. In this case, just coming back to your breath. So if we focus on the breath this way, the breath can be like an anchor, something that we can keep coming back to when the mind wanders off. And another option, instead of just focusing on the breath, is to have a more wide open awareness of sensation of the whole body. So that includes the breath sensations, since that's part of the body. But now being open to all the sensations, everything you might feel from head to toe, on the surface, on the inside the body. Feeling all the different types of sensations and all the various locations. Noticing sensations like touch or even pressure against the skin, or sensations of temperature. Notice how sensitive the skin is to feel even slight changes or just slight differences in temperature. Notice perhaps sensations in your muscles, or even in your bones or joints. You might notice that some muscles are fully relaxed, some have tension in them, some are being stretched, some are loose. Notice as well that you can feel probably some sensations from your stomach, and even perhaps from your intestines, your whole digestive system. Depending when you last ate, your stomach might feel full or empty or somewhere in between. And if there's any pain or discomfort in your body, be aware of that as well, and see if you can just be open and curious about even those sensations, the nature of them, where they are, whether they change or move around, or even reactions you have to them. Of course, if there's any pain or discomfort, you could always move or try to do something to ease the discomfort. But the other option is to just allow it to be there, maybe explore it in detail, or just be with your whole body, kind of allowing all the range of sensations to be there, including pleasant and unpleasant sensations. And maybe now we can move our focus again, now going to outside the body, to be aware of sounds. Just notice that sounds are coming into your ears. In other words, being mindful of hearing. just taking in sounds as if your ears are like microphones, absorbing sounds without thinking about them or analyzing or labeling them, just hearing them. Although if your mind does start analyzing or commenting on sounds or labeling them, just notice that that's activity of the mind, that those are thoughts, and then leave the thoughts alone, and then just go back to just listening. You might hear sounds from close by or from further away, from inside the room you're in, from outside. Sounds come from different directions. Even notice if you hear the sound of your own breathing. Notice how sensitive the ears are to detect so much detail about sound. And throughout the meditation so far, whatever we were focusing on, you've probably noticed lots of thoughts coming up. Maybe you found that many times you just got carried away in thinking about something or another. So maybe now we'll make another shift of focus to focus in on just thoughts, or make thoughts the center of attention. So it doesn't mean really doing anything special. It's just continuing to sit, but now particularly noticing if or when any thoughts come up, but without holding on to them or pushing them away. You don't have to search for them or control them. You may find when you watch your thoughts this way that you perhaps keep getting, or at least at times, swept away in them, sort of hooked by your thoughts and just carried away in the stream of thinking, lost in your thoughts, which is a state where we might call it being hooked, where we're kind of in our thoughts, where we're lost in the thinking, but not really aware. Just like we could be walking without really being aware that we're walking, not paying attention. We can be having thoughts, we can be thinking without being aware of it. Or we can be aware and notice what thoughts are coming up, the content, the feelings that go with the thoughts. You might also notice as thoughts come up that some may feel pleasant and some may feel unpleasant. And then there's all the rest that are just neutral. You might notice some thoughts are just sort of individual thoughts and some come in a whole bunch at once, or even in the form of a story. You might notice thoughts coming up about past events, or thoughts may come up about the future, anticipating or planning or worrying. Just being open to whatever is coming up, the thoughts, any feelings that go with them. Noticing that there's an observer, part of you separate from the thoughts. Thoughts come and go and change, but the observer can be there throughout. The observer is part of you that's always there. Just continuing to observe your moment-to-moment experience, just for a few more moments, a few more breaths until you hear the bell ring. And even then, being mindful of the sound of the bell. And then see if you can maintain this mindfulness even after that, throughout the meeting.